Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
Episode 24 of Cyrus Says was released on July 13th, 2015.
Just to remind everybody that language usage and content that we provide here may be disturbing, disgusting, probably will be and should be. Words like bloody custard and words that rhyme with that may be featured. Actually will be featured. In fact, perhaps will only be featured. Just warning you.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
All right, I've had enough. I've had enough of people having mindless conversations. It's called Cyrus Says, and I have to tell you my pain once again at the top of the show, and then it gets worse and worse. All right, here's what happens. Every time I enter the gym early in the morning or late in the morning, I get the same conversation by 4 regulars. One will say early, one will say late. One will say early, one will say late. My point is, if you have nothing to say to someone, stop saying why you early and why you late, because they have no other conversation. Don't speak. Do not connect. Leave people alone. There's no need for us to have dialogue. This meaningless, insincere dialogue is a waste of everybody's time, especially in the morning. For 9 years, I come at the same time on Monday, at another time on Tuesday, another time on Wednesday. Leave me alone. Don't tell me I'm early and don't tell me I'm late. After all, I'm not a woman who's missed a, It's called Cyrus Says.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
On Cyrus Says, tonight we have Poland's Prime Minister, he didn't appear ultimately and called up sick. But we do have Anand Damle, a micro-blogger who's going to teach us a few things about Punjabification, toilet culture, the potato and the pain it's caused at weddings, and above all, my favorite topic in the whole world, strange advertisements involving families. Yes, Cyrus Says, and I'm the only excited person here as usual, but I am very excited. We have a blogger par excellence. He's won 7 awards in 4 different countries simultaneously on the same day. 3 were sponsored by me and 3 by him. Anand Damle, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me over.
Yes, and I loved your movie Damle and Damleer. Silly man. No, Anand, great to have you. Now, let's just understand who you are. You're a blogger who's got a crazy sort of blogging site that does all kinds of things. You'll get into that, but apparently it suits our lifestyle, which is I hope a bit on the eccentric. Also, you're a lawyer, and you're an environmental lawyer.
No, I'm not an environmental lawyer per se, but I have a master's degree in environmental law.
Let me stop immediately and apologize for not even bothering to find out. And now let's carry on. Yeah.
Yes, I am a lawyer, and that's what I do for a living.
Okay.
And I do have a master's degree in energy and environmental law, let me put it that way.
Okay, so by morning you're an aerobics instructor and then you become an environmental lawyer as the evening draws to a close. So let's quickly just touch in on environmental law, because we live in a country where the environment is sacred. I mean, I've never seen an Indian urinate in public or spit or, just desecrate walls or do anything disgusting. Have you? Have any of you all? Oh, Chavi, welcome to the show and good morning.
Evening. We've never seen anybody cut down trees for no reason.
Of course not.
No, never.
Yeah, or get rid of animals, deforestation. There's no Hindi word for deforestation. There is no Hindi word for forestation.
Yeah. We just leave our tigers and rhinos alone.
Let me just...
there are millions of them, too many in fact, yeah.
No, see, environment is not just about trees, forest, it's about the
air
cities as well.
Huh.
So where you live and what your environment is also matters. Mm-hmm. So don't just, it's
my
not about
environment is by and large Gujarati. I live in Malabar Hill and my good friend Amit Doshi will tell you, his tribe has taken over and we all eat dhoklas now. But no, jokes apart, talking about environment, as you said, in the West it's a much bigger issue. For us it seems to be, we wake up for one day and we have a movement for about 13 days on a television channel and then it ends again.
Switch off our lights for 1 hour.
Absolutely. Switch off lights for 1 hour and then immediately put the computers on at full and the geysers and everything else. But in the West, they're taking it far more seriously. So what's going to happen here?
Well, there have been some recent court orders as well on this, on how much noise pollution can you do, what kind of levels...
They've called us personally about the noise pollution. I've got many orders, yeah.
So it's more about your lifestyle. How are you living? Mm-hmm. It goes like, you can't have loudspeakers going on beyond 10 p.m. I mean, you need to sleep.
We never do that. Where are you? How can you say that? Chavi, have you ever heard our law-abiding Indian?
Not during Ganpati time in Bombay, never.
No festival season, not during elections, nothing. 10 o'clock, 9:59. I've never seen it cross 9:59.
In fact, never even children's birthday parties with the microphones on and karaoke on the terrace.
And that idiot neighbor whose parents have left out of town, they don't go until 3 in the morning. 9:30 they call up and say, Auntie, uncle, I'm putting it off. But why call me uncle? I don't know.
Call the neighbors and say, we're done now. Thank you.
we love our country. We all three of us. Anand, I'm sorry about the sarcasm, but you make us feel pain immediately when you say the word environment. I used to work for a music channel which tried to do something about the environment, and then after 3 days gave up, and rightly so. We actually had movements. We did one thing with NDTV called the Greenathon, which the first year millions of people tuned in, and by year 2, most people left for Pakistan, Bangladesh. It was like, that bad.
Well, noise pollution is just one thing, but what about plastic bags? I mean, you know what? I have a mother of all plastic bags lying at home which spawns plastic bags.
For a second, I thought mother in the plastic bag, and I had mother-in-law visuals and all kinds of things happening. Sorry, yeah. So what does that mean?
It's just endless. They just don't go anywhere. They're lying in your home.
They tend to grow. You're right, actually.
That's what I'm saying. This bag somewhere in the attic is spawning smaller bags which become bigger bags.
It's breeding like rabbits.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something we need to talk about in depth. Plastic bags need to be disposed of in some way. I have a neighbor who eats anything. Can't we give him the plastic bag?
We could just give them to everybody who travels in the train with me and just chucks them out.
Or every ugly Indian could wear a plastic bag on their head. I could identify them. Ugly plastic bag.
But that's what people do when it's raining.
1 minute, Chavi saying
you don't need an umbrella.
Anand, so I have to interrupt you. I have to wear a plastic bag, Chavi's just pointed out that under the new law that has been passed about ugly Indians.
Cyrus says.
Yeah. got to wear it, right? Yeah. No, but again, we're joking about this, but it's ridiculous. You see cows. I mean, I remember in Mahim recently I saw, of course, cows are protected now. So part of the protection is we'll feed them plastic bags. And the plastic bags, in the debris, there's plenty. There's lots of blue. That blue colored plastic bag is very prominent and very strong. It seems to be indestructible.
Because the blue is the strongest bag of all.
Right. Is it?
It's the thickest plastic if you've
noticed.
So
there's racism in bags which no one has touched yet.
It's not what the banana seller gives you.
That is that black one.
No, that's more like
cellulose.
Right.
Yeah.
And in fact, that is a banned one. You can't use that.
Right.
So which is worse? The banned one, obviously.
The banned one, of course.
But I should pay attention to the show, man. Yeah.
But if you're smart enough, you will carry a bag in your pocket every time you go shopping.
But I'm saying, why do we need even banned or the so-called semi-banned ones? What is the difference? Why don't we just not have any sense of plastic? Can we not live without the plastic bag?
Yes, we can. Carry a cotton shopping bag.
So in fact, you get really cute ones that fold into absolutely nothing.
Yes.
Like carry one.
I have a simple solution. We have too many people. Use labor. If you buy 12 mangoes, you don't carry it yourself. Raju, Bandi, idhar aao. Give them 3 each and walk. We have a labor problem. People don't have enough work. Chavi, as you speak, your boyfriend's sitting there reading a book. Why isn't he working? I mean, what's happening?
Get some mangoes. Come on.
No, don't give him mangoes. Mangoes are $400 a mango.
Okay. But that I agree with Cyrus, because there is so much labor. If you're entering a mall or a high security building, you will have 6 security guards trying to check your car.
I love those guys.
You ask them what are they looking for, and they will just gesticulate some rectangular kind of thing, like they know what they're looking for.
Have you noticed the anti-bum movement? Whenever I just went to the Inox to see a movie, and he did the whole checking with his hands. Obviously, that day the machine was not working, or that that silly little thing that they give them. It's just a battery toy which 5-year-olds play with. It does nothing, and it just goes over
and it beeps.
And it beeps whenever it feels like.
Mosquito racket.
It is. And they check my mosquito. No pun intended. But my point is, they never go behind. So they just touch the shoulders, then they go down to your pelvic area. The slightly more horny ones perhaps touch where they need to, and then they go back down the inner thighs. But my point is, what if I'm carrying something in my back pocket? I've never felt a touch there.
Exactly.
You said back pocket. I was thinking something completely different.
If I say posterior, they'll tune out. So I just say back pocket. Plastic bag was bad enough. Plastic bag, my posterior, too many visuals for a little audience.
But my experience is like, if they're checking my car and I tell them my hatch doesn't open, they will not check it.
Love it.
So I can actually take my car in with whatever I want.
Oh, that 5-star hotel thing is the most beautiful act of all time.
Oh yeah, they put the mirror under your car.
No, this is true acting, because it's all an act. It's ridiculous, exactly like you said. It's not working.
What they're looking for.
But it's all done like robots. They don't even have any. They have no idea. If you tell them very quickly, look, I have a bomb in the backseat, they won't even be paying attention. They'll just quietly. I mean, it's just hilarious. The whole exercise is fun for everyone. But you're right, labor is being employed, so we should be grateful. Which now brings us to, we need to start talking about topics which Amit has researched over the last 16 minutes. Luckily, thanks to technology, it doesn't take longer than that.
Come on, don't miss our process. Everybody, please listen. We research for weeks and weeks, and we spend labor.
And then our guest Anand comes in overrules. No, don't want. Anand, I want to quickly get into the blogging site, which is elephantdropping.com. Tell us. I love the name. You got me. The moment you say elephant, I'm interested. Go on.
Well, elephant dropping is bigger than bullshit. That's what I
Wow! That's nicely put.
So that's where the name has come from.
Another Premchand right here in front of us.
And
superb.
It's basically an observation on everyday life in a humorous way. So basically,
and bullshit is now part of our life. There's
exactly,
no
exactly.
It's the way it is. A way of life for us now.
Exactly.
So you're taking it further. Fair enough.
Like one person person said, you go on, say whatever you want. I'm a bit of a bullshitter myself.
You know what I really enjoy is the politicians when there's an issue and they are on the run. I won't take names of parties, but the ruling party, for example, is on the run in the Lalit Gate situation. And if you see their spokespersons, the whole body language is wonderful because they don't get to any point, but they just go on fighting. It's for me that's another breed altogether.
It's a stance.
They won't admit wrong. They won't say, okay, maybe we effed up in this way or whatever. But they will continue to fight without having a thought process, which there's some which makes bullshit into a fine art. I think in America they call it filibustering when you sort of hold up the parliament.
Right,
I love that idea. What a concept that is.
Here too.
How can it be the number one? They do it not by choice. It just happens by default. But I'm saying in America, it's a great concept. I'll just keep talking and then the bill won't get passed. So you just have to get a guy like me who has no idea in his head and just go on talking. And my mother's ankle is 16.5 inches and she bench presses 200 pounds with one hand. Oh, and she's got diabetes and hemorrhoids. All at the same
I don't think
time.
any of the parties recognize that they have this weapon.
A weapon! I have called up Kejriwal, but he's doing such a good job on his own. Because Kejriwal has not made a point in the last 6 months if you actually listen and follow politics. But I think our politics is just getting more fun for humorists. It's just funnier and funnier every day. Our Prime Minister, as we speak, went to Russia. Every time there's something going on, we just think about this. Not in a jokey way. You think about an issue. There's some issue going on in India, whatever it is, whether it's about Vyapam or whatever. For a second you think about it, where's the PM? He's not there. He's never there. He's in China. He's in Russia. I think he's figured it out. Let this country solve its own problems. I'll just do the tour. I think it's a good idea.
This is looking at a larger picture. Let's be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Let's do more business.
Yeah, and migrate.
And migrate.
No, save India, migrate. I think it's a great concept.
Yeah, like you have non-resident Indians and you have non-returning Americans.
Yeah, so non-resident PM, what is it? NRPM? Yeah.
NRPM, yeah.
So who's running the country for most of the year? That's really scary, isn't it?
Well,
I think it's Manmohan Singh. He's still in charge. We're getting nothing out of anything. Okay, we have to take a quick break. Anand, we haven't even started on elephantdropping.com, so we'll come back and we'll talk a lot more about that. But now just give us the sound, the pleasant aesthetic quality, that alien quality of the chords when the elephant dropping falls out of the elephant's rectum. Go ahead.
Never heard the sound of an elephant dropping, but yes, I have heard an elephant fart. So that's the sound I can give you.
Oh my God.
And it's like...
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, fair enough. We'll take a break and then come back. All right, back here on Cyrus Says, and Anand is a very interesting man. We have all kinds of topics to talk about. We haven't really got into any of them because we're just freewheeling, but now we will talk. The website, what do? Do you look at the news or you just come up with your own thoughts?
I look around me. I look what's happening around me, what's happening in the world, pick up some interesting things, and I write about it.
Okay, so it's not confined to our lovely country alone or our lovely city alone.
No, not necessarily, but mostly yes, to this city.
So how do you leave our city? There's so much crap. How do you even go to New York or Paris or wherever else you want to?
I don't. I stick to this city most of the time.
Fair enough.
Because, having lived in the city since birth, I don't think the city goes beyond Mahim.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, it's...
So you're a South Bombayer like us?
Well, if you think Dadar is South Bombay, then yes, I am South Bombay.
Mahim is very much... All these names make me feel happy. Whenever they say things like Andheri, Lokhandwala, my heart starts skipping a beat.
Exactly, because...
I feel faint and I pass away.
To me, it's like going to an alien country once I go beyond Mahim.
Why is it I can't understand this. You, Amit, our producer, me and you are all South Mumbaikars. Of course, Chavi is like a person with no destination, right? Because you keep traveling. Sorry, no place to stay. No domicile, yeah.
Place to stay, I sound like one Lavaris type child.
A nomad?
But in a sense you are. You are, because you've lived, 13 years in Tennessee, 5 years in the north, 5 years in the south, God knows.
Not 13 years.
You said 13 years in Tennessee?
America.
13 years in America and about 11... Why are we even discussing this? This is important.
Anand, back to you, man.
Anand, really? I want to talk about more interesting things like his monsoon tree fall theory.
Yeah,
what the hell is that?
That's a theory. Now, over the past few years, like so many incidents of trees falling, or rather the branches falling off, and people dying. Now, maybe 10 years back, if you have noticed, there used to be double-decker buses.
Right.
Yes.
So now, as the low-hanging branches would scrape the top of the double-decker buses, sometimes, hitting passengers inside. So you would have
That's the good part. Huh.
So you would have a tree-cutting bus,
yes,
which was nothing but a double-decker bus with the top shaved off.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what it was. And it would go on the same routes as, any double-decker bus, chopping off the branches.
Ah.
So that stopped. Once the double-decker buses went off the routes, this bus also stopped.
This is violence in our own state being perpetrated and we didn't even kind of know about it. So the monsoon...
So now they just blame the rain?
They blame the rain, they
Or
blame the
just
municipal corporation.
Right, and then they decimate the trees.
Correct.
It's supposed to be not more than 10 centimeters.
Chavi, before you get very upset, let me just tell you, I've noticed a lot of trees have fallen in that terrible June month where we had about 2 weeks of bad rain. And it didn't look like anything else but nature.
It was nature.
That was nature's
but
fury.
No pruning
That was nature's fury.
Right.
But when the trees were getting pruned, when they were getting trimmed, they were in control.
Right.
Once that stopped, nobody
makes
was looking at the
perfect
trees
sense.
anymore.
So what's your point here? Should we trim it or not trim it?
Bring back the double-decker buses.
And I'm not talking about trees. I'm talking about hygiene on your body.
Trim. Whatever it is.
The ladies
trim.
like it short, is it?
Just trim.
Okay, just good to know. If you don't like trees, listen to what I'm saying. No, so the way I see it, Parsis, tigers, trees, all disappearing. All right? In that order. And literally, I would like to have a tiger near a tree with a Parsi tied up, and you say, okay, this is it. This is something you can look at, 10 years down the line. But it's a bit sad. I live in Malba Hill with the poorer people, and we have some sense of trees. Right. But even that is going. They've already cut down 4 or 5. I can't tell whether it's right or wrong. This is touching to that and this is touching to this. So I can't really tell. Chavi, quickly.
It's horrible. So I live in a place where people claim to be educated. And of
course,
course,
England. But where? Germany?
South Bombay.
Not Greece.
So we're down there trying to stop this person who's got a contractor cutting off these massive branches of trees when the BMC mandate is you can't cut any branch wider.
So who's the contractor if he's not lawfully allowed?
He's not lawfully allowed. He doesn't have a letter. So we went and challenged them. And then people came pouring out of the building who'd called him and said, no, because, mosquitoes breed in trees. And we were like, what? And he said, yeah, we have to because we have many mosquitoes and they're breeding in the trees. And I was like, have you gone to school? And he said, I have a master's degree in environmental science. At which point, I killed myself practically.
But is it true? Do mosquitoes breed in...
How do you know? Crazy.
Well, let him talk. He's a lawyer. He's an environmental lawyer. Huh?
No, it's got nothing to do with law and mosquitoes. But
the biology of
mosquitoes don't breed on trees, which I'm sure even a school kid will tell you.
I think third standard.
I'm not 100% sure yet, and I've spent a lot of time with both.
But they do spend time in trees
during
the daytime.
It's their office.
Resting, yeah, exactly. Okay, because when they come out at night, they have to be somewhere in the day.
To eliminating mosquitoes, they will go rest somewhere else, you moron people. So
which is where the big white smoke machine comes into play.
Yes, on Thursdays in my area. Right.
Yeah. So one sec. So we have one situation here where basically we want to save the trees. I'm just saying we have so many trees left. Let's say we have 4,000 trees left. We should figure out a way not to cut any more of them. Okay? We can trim them a little bit. I can understand for environmental reasons if it makes sense to do it. Right. But otherwise, I'm a little worried. But what I'm saying is buildings have started removing trees and saying pavements have to be
builders in my area who are poisoning the trees overnight, and there are witnesses who have seen them.
What happened in the good old days when they poisoned the tenants? Why can't they just stick to that? Leave the bloody trees alone.
I agree.
It's neutral ground.
Poison the bloody contractor.
No, contractors doing such good work building buildings which nobody wants to look at. Come on, use your head.
And nobody wants to live in.
You guys are plotting murder here, let me tell you.
Listen, we've gone beyond murder. This is a very cynical show.
Can you come to every show and tell us what we're doing?
Our show has only 2 angles. We're very juvenile or very cynical. We have nothing in between.
Okay. This is true.
This is absolutely correct, really. And when we get cynical, thanks to you, because you have a certain trend of thought, you've taken us into cynicism, and now we've gone beyond satire, and we're just evil. Yeah. We're borderline evil. We're the ISIS of podcasts, except that they're now IS, budget problems. They cut it down from 4 to 2 letters.
True. But again, they're neither Islamic nor a state, so they shouldn't be called that.
I don't know. They're doing such great humanitarian work by getting refugees to leave the European continent and join them for desert vacation.
Everybody, that is satire, please.
All right, let's move on to his potato aversion. What the hell is that?
There's no aversion to potatoes, but about 6 months back at a wedding time, and 3 or 4 meals in a row, the main course was potatoes.
What kind of wedding was this?
Were you in Ireland? Wait, was it an Irish wedding? Go on. Yeah.
It was a regular Maharashtrian wedding, but with Punjabification.
This Punjabification? Hang on, you're spot on once again.
1 second. Palak, yes.
No.
Hindi,
yes. I love Punjabi. Don't take it badly. One second. Please accept that Punjabification of India has happened across communities, including Babas, including Muslims, everybody.
South Indians
everybody has a loud wedding, and you guys are responsible for this loud wedding.
We're not taking credit for the potato. I disown the potato.
It's not for the
potatoes come from the north.
No, they don't.
Potato, have you seen the normal northerner versus the southerner?
Have you seen the normal Bihari meal?
Who looks more like a potato? Come on, be honest.
It's a Punjabification in terms of the number of events. So you had a Sangeet, Mehndi, the main wedding and the reception.
But not the potato.
Anand, the poorer, there's a correlation. The poorer you are, the more events you need to have. So your driver will tell you, "Mereko 5 lakh chahiye." Kyun? Beti ka shadi.
Exactly.
I said, "Beti ka shadi? At least ask her before you have the bloody wedding, idiot." You marry some moron, Jairam, who's never seen a woman in his life, and they have people dancing in their version of stand-up comedy. Not Rajesh Srivastava, but somebody else will perform their version of dancing, Bollywood. I mean, this is Punjabification. You hit it on the head.
Fine. I have to, with much chagrin, admit you're right.
It's true, and it's spread all over. And NRIs, Indians of any ethnicity, wherever they come from, whatever, Maharashtra, Gujarat, you just name it. With or without money, NRI Indians have the biggest weddings. So the Punjabification outside India of Indians is even worse.
True enough.
True.
Enough, yes.
God, Chavi's given up.
Okay, but go back to potatoes,
Right.
which are not Punjabi.
So across this 3 or 4 days, the potato was the main item. How much of potato sabzi can you eat?
Yeah. I'm just worried for the bridegroom. Only pleasure he's getting is aloo.
So you have potato in the morning, the same thing leftovers again in the evening, or maybe the day of the wedding also.
So who planned this? I mean, the same guests
Not
are
me.
eating the same food.
Not
Probably
me.
on a budget. Must have been
Maybe they
cheap
want the
or
guests to
something.
leave.
It's maybe the caterer who suggested, potatoes, traditional food. You have to have potatoes.
If he's Indian, he must have an excess surplus of potatoes
Must have.
and figured out a way to get rid of it. That's
It's
it.
the cheapest food available.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I really like my potato. I wouldn't mind eating it 4 times a day. As you can see, I do.
I will eat it.
Nowadays-
I'll eat it, but not the same style.
Oh my goodness.
You mean they didn't even change
How
the
boring.
style of
No,
presentation?
it was not even like, oven baked potatoes.
They could just turn the potato the other way and give it to you. I mean, something.
Put something on it. Nimbu, mayonnaise.
Yeah,
something.
you have yellow potatoes, white potatoes, jeera potatoes, potatoes with onions.
I see you
with
spent a lot
garlic.
of time on this subject. You went back with the pain, you researched it, and you've come up with a thesis.
He's got
Fair
like
enough.
8,000 recipes.
There's no sarcasm. I am totally with him because these little things that really irritate you after some time.
Will again irritate you is attending a summer wedding, having a buffet with no air conditioning.
Oh.
Who does this? Cheap people.
No, because
Still
you're paying
happens.
by the hour, so you
It
won't
still
let me leave in
happens.
1 hour.
So it's out in the open. It's in summer.
Yeah, that's
There are
true.
no coolers. And let me tell you can even predict a menu at a reception these days.
Yeah.
I can roll it off right now. There will
Please
be one.
do.
There will be one paneer item in brown gravy.
It has to be
It
there.
has to be there. Mixed vegetables in some green gravy.
Always a safe bet. Everyone can
Right.
eat it. Huh.
There will be the Indian green salad, which will be
Oh, I hate that green
cucumbers,
salad, yeah.
carrots, and tomatoes and
Too much,
onions.
Too much.
The kachumbar without the...
No, just
Not
spices.
cucumber,
Just
the dry
spices.
salad, dry.
The dry one.
Then?
And then you will have either
She doesn't get invited, yeah.
you will have the bundi raita,
Oh, God. How much more do you have to suffer the raitas?
jeera rice or veg pulao or a veg biryani.
Correct.
Followed by either jalebi, gulab jamun, vanilla ice cream with chocolate sauce.
That's why I
Absolutely.
don't go.
And I remember...
And this is across the country, only Bombay.
And
This
coming
is
back-
Bombay.
Coming
This
back to
is-
Maharashtrian
Alright, so-
weddings, my good friend Kunal Vijayakar used to tell me in the old days, they'd only serve, Miss Anand being a Maharashtrian Rajasthan, they used to only serve ice cream. That was the highlight.
That's the
They have
reception.
Cut to
Yeah,
15 saal ke aage, if you just cut to,
Right.
it's all Punjabification. The same wedding had
agree.
a certain culture. There was a great thing about this minimalism. I really thought it was nice.
It would be a 1 centimeter slice of
Yes.
tutti frutti
Yeah.
ice cream.
What is that one with C? Cassata.
Cassata.
So he used to say that, he actually took me to a couple of them. And actually, rich or poor, they would just keep it very dignified, very
That's
low
very
profile.
nice, I think.
And you get your cassata and
But-
you buzz off.
But Maharashtrian weddings are very efficient.
Yeah.
You come, the marriage the ceremony takes place,
Yeah.
you have lunch,
Yeah.
you go home,
Yeah.
take a nap, done.
But I have a
It
complaint
didn't work once. It
about-
didn't work once. Shiv Sena BJP. They
that's
came,
a
they went.
different wedding.
Now they're sleeping separately as far as I know. Yeah. Yeah, good. Chavi, sorry, we interrupted you. You were saying.
That's perfectly normal.
No, go
I
on.
was saying I went to a Maharashtrian wedding where I was looking forward to having Maharashtrian food and it was Punjabified. I was so
Exactly.
horrified.
No,
There was
that's what I-
aloo ki sabzi and there was paneer. And I was like, paneer is not a vegetable,
is-
you crazy people.
And if they go
And it's not Maharashtrian.
If they go non-veg, which normally Hindu weddings won't go, but if they have some non-veg, it'll be the same 2 chicken dishes. Absolutely the
Brown
same.
gravy, yeah.
It will be either butter chicken
Butter chicken or the tikkas.
or the tikkas.
No.
Or if it's not butter chicken, they will call it
Country chicken or something.
chicken makhni.
That's a good spin.
Murg
That's a good spin.
Murg
to it.
makhni.
Good spin to everything. Now that we've absolutely wasted time on the Punjabification, but we have to accept this is the way it's going. There's not much we can do. Let's move on to our next topic, but we'll have to take a break before we do that. So, Mr. Damle, we want to thank you about your hatred for potato. Okay with the tomato?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Because some say potato, some say tomato, some say... Oh, we'll just take a break.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, it's still Cyrus Says with Anand Damle, sometime lawyer, sometime environmentalist, but most importantly, a man who's feeling the pain and anguish of modern life in India. Oh, actually, modern global life, let's face it. It's not like Greece and Turkey are having fun either. But we'll get into an interesting topic, which is, you're a lawyer, so maybe you'll explain this a little better, Anand. Adults cannot be stopped from watching porn according to the Supreme Court. Is this true?
Well, that's what the recent news items have reported.
Top of the line in my news items, I got to tell you. Very
Even I have
important.
read the news item only. I have not read any order on that. But yes, that is what the news items have reported as to the Supreme.
Okay, so what I'm getting out of it is basically somebody filed a PIL against porn and wanted it to be stopped while the government has a reaction to it and while the procedure is being stalled, wanted the Supreme Court to act and stop porn being used or surfed or whatever. But the Supreme Court has said that what happens in your privacy is your business, although we are not supporting porn and it should be perhaps controlled. Am I right? Is this what it is, basically? But it's a great day for lots of people like myself who have nothing to do, which is what, 90% of the country. Because now we are back with our favorite...
Also our MPs, don't forget them.
How dare you? MP is main part.
No, it's
if you have a young
member of
kid.
Parliament.
No, Baba!
Oh,
the
when
kids
you're
do
a kid,
MP, don't touch my MP and all. I've heard them talk. That's how Indian kids talk, urban kids. Never say MP. What you mean is different.
It's the same thing. Honestly.
I don't want to go there. You want to pick a fight with the parliamentarians, you do it. I'm very careful. In fact, I've got a lawyer who's told me be very careful about the courts and the dignity and respect that we must adhere to. But the point here is that, in a sense, it's a fair judgment. How do you stop porn?
Very difficult in today's age because everything is off the internet.
Yeah, and how will they? I mean, China can't do it, frankly, if they want to. Beyond a point, legislate it or control it or stop its infiltration.
Because every day you will have new websites coming up. Even if you shut down a website, it will just come up with some other name.
Absolutely.
Correct.
It's like torrents.
Correct. Not to mention,
worse,
we've got some
there.
Hindi films have an item number which is almost porn. The FTI has a gentleman who may have worked in semi-porn. So, it's all over the place. It's a difficult thing to do. Sex, alcohol, very difficult to eradicate from a voyeur point of view. And we are the voyeur country of the world. Along with Punjabification, voyeurism is another big thing. We like to
May have
watch.
come from Punjab, we don't know.
Don't like to participate that much. Getting old, Chavi. me, I'm speaking. I'm not. Anand, of course, is a young, healthy man with a full shock of hair, which he's removed for this show for some reason.
Just for the show.
Yeah. But I think there's some liberalism in our courts and in our, even with the homosexual law, for or against, they sort of stayed away from giving a judgment. But in a sense, I think deep down our judiciary is more liberal than we think.
I agree. I would say so.
Let's ask
Anand,
Anand for his professional opinion. In fact, I must tell you, they have a great sense of humor as well. I met our High Court Chief Justice, Mumbai, at an NGO event for kids from destitute situations, etc., etc. And we had to have lunch after the event. And I met him. He was in a suit and a tie. And we chatted. He was really funny and we had a good time. 24 hours later, I was standing at the Oval Ground where the cricket was being played, and these lawyers were practicing for a match. They do have this match with the judges. And there's a man in white standing next to me. And I said, so who's playing? So he said, no, the lawyers are practicing with the judges. So I said, wow, I met the Chief Justice yesterday and we spent 15 minutes together. It was great fun. So he said, that was me. But he was wearing whites, and tight track pant, and I felt so embarrassed. And he just didn't look anything like this executive guy, very powerful legal figure. So that was, and he laughed.
Right,
he absolutely laughed. He didn't get offended at all. I was like, oh my God, if my case comes up for whatever reason, don't remember me. But he was very, so, I think they have a good sense of humor. I'm quite happy with the judicial, everything's, improvement is possible everywhere, but frankly speaking, I'm not going to complain too much. So I think the idea is that porn, in limited quantities in your room, alone, hopefully not with other people, because that's another deviant sort of mindset. But what do you think, Chavi? Are you for or against as a lady?
I think whatever you do in the privacy of your own home, if it's not harming somebody else.
Like, can you dig your nose with two fingers in one
Whatever
nostril?
you want
I think it's fine. If it's your nostril, how dare you get angry?
Hurting anyone.
Right.
It's all yours.
Right.
Your business.
Anand? Do you surf porn? Tell the truth. Here's the moment.
No, I don't surf porn.
Why? You perform?
I have parental controls on my computer because I also have a child at home who knows how to use it.
You don't have a second computer, Anand?
No, I don't.
It's simply a matter of numbers. Okay, fair enough. We won't push him on this, but I have yet to meet a male. I have not met a single male. Chavi, I know your boyfriend's saying I've not met a single male in my entire life who's not surfed porn.
Even I haven't.
I'm sure females have as well, but I cannot say for sure because I have more male friends, unfortunately.
No, I think it's a given.
Yeah, come on. I mean, why would they not? You may not do it all the time. Like Anand,
I see it as a biological difference between men and women, and I just think that this is part of who men are. It's their makeup.
Between you and me, I heard that Anand has an iPad and he goes outside the house. Let me tell you, there's some Korean porn out there which is really riveting. Great storylines.
Dolly does Dallas, not Texas.
Debbie, not Dolly.
Debbie
Dolly is one of your
Dallas.
Bollywood stars, and if she's in the porn will close down. Be honest. All right, let's move on to Gadkari, my favorite politician, and apparently he's given a diktat: perform or retire. Mr. Anand Damle, you want to take this one? Our favorite Gadkari has asked bureaucrats in the transportation ministry to get off their, well, let's call it buttocks, and or file for VRS, voluntary retirement, and buzz off.
I think what he's probably hinting at as, you need to bring closure to every file that comes to your desk. You just can't keep it pending.
Began like this. The BJP, Narendra Modi wave began like this. True. Catch the babus, start performing,
and
come on time.
Limit, right?
And then...
So, if you put a time limit on, say, whatever application that comes to your desk, what Mr. Gadkari is saying is, either you accept it or you reject it. Yeah. But you can't just be sitting on it. Yeah. So if you need more information, I would say just ask for it, but you still need to close it at some point of time. And you can have a fixed period for that. You can say, 90 days, 120 days, maybe a year also.
And he's allowing them to take breaks to go to the toilet and, you do what you have to.
Of course, that is...
which brings me to my next topic, which is on toilets and from you. But since Mr. Gadkari, we either talk about food or toilets. We can't, get away from that. But again, I just want to quickly reiterate the point, which is they started with a bang. It looked like they were very clear because Namo himself was actually going and catching people. And I like that. I thought it was great. Babu was getting up, being there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and as you said, dispose of the bloody file. Don't pile file on top of file. But at the end of the day, the red tape has won. And, he can say what he wants to, but let's face the reality of India. Will they be able to control the bureaucracy? No.
I don't think so. I've got a friend right now who's been tapped for a 50 lakh bribe.
Really? What does the person do?
Not enough to pay this bribe.
No. What is, who's he? Is it an IAS officer? Who's he dealing with? What level? Who's the person?
Just a filing clerk person.
He has to pay a filing clerk person 50 lakhs. But the filing clerk person has a menu card. He has to pay his superior 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs. It's not easy. Life in India is difficult. Who's the person? 50 lakhs?
Can't tell you, no?
Give us a half a name.
No.
Second syllable.
No.
Mother's pet name. Name abroad. Mustache, no mustache. Give me something.
Dolly does.
Okay, fine, whatever. Now it's time to, let's hit Anand's questions, which are far more interesting. And he starts with his views on toilets, which I will find in about 40 to 50 seconds. The lack of them, the untrained users, that's very important. And an afterthought, this is also on my blog, so go ahead, take us through your views on toilets.
So, what I find is, in India, I think toilets are more of an afterthought. And now with, Mr. Modi saying, please build more toilets.
And for women.
And for women, just don't go outside into the fields. Now, that is one thing, you constructed a toilet, but is it usable after a year?
No.
That's the question, exactly.
Year. Have you taken an Air India flight recently? A year. After takeoff, can you go in?
Because it's a private public partnership, right?
Right.
And they just are interested in charging the money and not maintaining anything.
To me, whether in a private setup or a public setup, you will never find a toilet when you need one.
There aren't enough, right?
Exactly. Now, if you go to the airport, early morning flight, and you will have a line of at least 10 people standing outside each stall.
Correct.
Now,
as Indians, men?
But why can't we?
Men. I'm not even talking about the women. I'm not even talking
about
women. I hope
there are.
Anand is not going into the women's, because that's not right, Anand.
I've never
the handicap toilet is fine. Use the handicap toilet, but don't use the women's. It's not right.
But see, as Indians, I think we are all trained at the first thing when you wake up is you empty your bowels.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So if you're catching a 5 a.m. flight or a 6 a.m. flight,
you do it at 3.
You do it at 3. That is, if you wake up at 2, then you do it at 3.
But sometimes your body won't cooperate. So then you come to the airport.
You come to the airport and you have a flight to catch.
You want to leave your mark. Yeah.
Correct.
So what happens?
Like a dog.
The other thing is...
So then you've got to stand in that line?
You stand in the line. So either you risk losing missing your flight because there are no more announcements anymore.
Correct.
Right.
And there are
not in the toilet.
Not in the toilet, and there are no your LCD indicators in the toilet as well.
Yeah.
So what do? You just hold. And if you are somebody who can't go in the plane because you're just too scared to do so, or if it's a short
I can't
flight,
go in the plane. I cannot go in the plane. How can you go in the plane?
You can't go in the plane. You can't go in the train also.
And you think they're looking out?
Trains.
Listen, Chavi, they're waiting outside and studying you. You've gone in.
Right.
If you don't come out in 4 minutes, they know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Right? And then you're going to be embarrassed because all the passengers will be looking at you when you come out. 15 minutes, him. They know exactly what you did.
Fully.
What the hell could you have done?
You're the person standing outside.
Exactly.
You're judging whoever's inside.
Even if you have a prostate problem, peeing happens in 4 minutes.
And then whoever comes out last from the bathroom, you judge what state of the toilet has been left in, and you blame that person.
And we are such racist that we look at the person's face and we feel hygienic, unhygienic, right? Like, okay, now this guy's going in, so I'm going to
I'm going to go to the other room.
Yeah, I'm going to just let it come out from my mouth. I just don't want to do anything.
Or you find a guy's shoe size on the seat.
Oh, horrible.
Luckily, we're Indian, so yes, shoes get removed.
Which I believe now the Swiss authorities have started putting up instructions.
We were talking about
agree. Yeah.
But do we have a manual for how to use a toilet? No, we don't.
No,
Very good point.
We need a manual.
Very good point.
If you're transiting, from what you call as in Asia, they said a squat style to a Western style, you still need a manual.
Fair enough. Also, Indian men who are educated, men like us, I think they think it's their prerogative. Indian men are entitled. That we're born with that entitled feeling. Right. So once you pee on the seat or pee anywhere else or sort of spills, for whatever reason, I don't think Indian men like to clean it. It's like, okay, so now that's the other person's problem and we leave.
Correct.
Let's face that.
Correct.
So that's
the
also
person standing outside the loo is judging you.
I'm so petrified when I try to finish as fast as possible. So, I just peed quickly and I've left as quickly as possible. For me, it's very important to do that.
Like they say, if you tinkle, don't sprinkle.
Right.
But Indian men...
What the hell, Chavi? I see you in different light now. How the hell do you know?
They used to have signs up at least in some places, with little... sketches, right?
Sketches,
Those
like a
lovebirds,
little boy peeing and,
Yeah, but now
behind
you want
the
to take this toilet conversation further. Let me tell you my problem abroad also. They're not very clear with the genders. You can't just show me a picture. Raja, Rani, very clear. Big thing, But you just show me, they both look like eunuchs. I can't tell.
Can I just tell you, there is
I have walked into female toilets
Yeah.
twice in Europe.
Well done.
Yes, luckily women in Europe don't care.
Well, at least-
or they think I'm a woman too. So,
Right, in
they
Scotland,
just,
the kilt thing, you could just walk into either one.
No, in Scotland, they're built like India. You just let go. You don't have to go anywhere.
But here, so sometimes, toilets have very interesting signage for men and women, right? The most disturbing one I've ever seen is at Saltwater Grill in Bombay. Maybe they have it in
Listen, that
Delhi
could be a
as well.
potential sponsor. Never take the name.
And
Riyaz
it's very
Amlani is a very sweet
innovative.
guy.
How's that? It's innovative. I'm casting it in a positive
So what
light.
does it say?
It's disturbing though. It doesn't say anything. It is a knob pointing out, and the other one is a circle with the hole missing.
Oh my God!
Pretty
So what you do
risque,
is it's clear which one to go to, but now I'm feeling low and upset because I'm never going to see that again. You're never going to get to see the female genitalia or metaphorical female genitalia.
It's abstract.
And how big is the knob? That could give me a complex. This is not right. This is scary. Anand has kept quiet. He doesn't want to get into this.
There's one sign as on the flush tank which somebody sent me a photo recently, and it just said like, after using, press flush hardly.
Oh no! Does that mean at all? Not at all, or hardly?
Hardly. I think it's possibly like it's hardly is the opposite of softly.
No, but the thing is now every pot, foreign pot or pots that are made in the last 5 years will give you the two options as in less and more.
Right.
And I think Indians, again, we don't care about this. We just press the whole damn thing together.
Exactly.
It's very clear. You just a little tinkle, as you say, just press a small one.
Small one, right?
What do you think? Should we talk to them in school? Like
no,
in
no,
first
it's simple.
standard?
Guys, it's very simple. Get someone to guide you.
Where? Outside every
the airline
toilet?
must say, listen, this miss, hello, this is Rani. Rani is your air hostess. She will now guide you. She enters with you. Don't
There's
don't
not
feel
enough
ashamed.
space, Cyrus.
I don't care.
I'm sorry.
Let her guide you.
You and
कृपया
one
ध्यान
person.
दीजिए अभी बेटा को निकाल के आगे बढ़ो हाँ अभी प्रोसेस चालू करो अभी ये करो उसके
Okay,
अंदर
how about a video for everybody in their seats itself?
No, it'll become like porn for us. We just want to watch it for fun. I'd like to see it again. I don't think it'll work.
School?
Okay, we have to
Do you
take a
think we
break.
should do school?
All this toilet talk.
Maybe in school also. Yeah, you can start over there. The earlier the better.
Yeah, everything's smaller. It makes a lot of sense. We'll take a quick break, then we'll come back. We have to take a break, Anand. But you're right.
Sure.
Toilet, Punjabification. You've opened our eyes to the pain and anguish of India, which is never going to heal. Back with Anand Damle. Of course, I had a school teacher called Mrs. Damle, but we are looking back to circa 1980
Could have been
something.
his mum.
Was there anybody in your family
Bhabhi.
school teachers?
My mother was a school teacher,
What was the first name?
Swati Damle, but then
No.
I guess she was not a teacher in your school. She was a teacher in my school.
Okay, let's not get into the age thing. It's more about the geography. It's the age problem here. Because at the moment, I could have been a teacher in your school. I'm worried about that. Oh, God. Why did I bring that up? All right, let's talk about pay and park. A mysterious point that has appeared, which may or may not have appeared from his blog. We're not sure. But I won't talk about it. So, pay and park. How do you decide the charges? Now, that is a huge... Let me tell you my little story. Okay, we used to do this Candid Camera show called Bakra. And I always park at Kem's Corner in that little hovel they created for 3 parkings, just opposite the bookstore, which is Crosswords right there. And we do it almost once or twice a month at least. And I know the charges. It used to be, at that point, it was about 5 rupees an hour, about a couple of years back. So I
How
park...
many years back is that?
Well, now it's about 10.
15,000?
No.
rupees?
You're paying too much. That's the point. Anyway, listen. So there's this urchin, as usual, right to exploitation, which we practice all over India. 11-year-old boy in a vest, not exactly Sunny Deol, comes up to me and I say, "Kitna?" I know, but I say, "Kitna?" And he looks at me and says, "25 rupiya." And I got really angry. It was one of those bad days, so I gave him a little bit of a mouthful. I used words like MC, BC, TC, which you should never do to 11-year-olds, but I did.
Ticket collector.
TC is a Tamil version of the same above Punjabification of our language, the secularism of abuse, which now has reached all over India, pan-India. And after all that, he looks at me, pauses for 5 seconds, says, "Aap public ko bakra banate hai, or, you're getting upset." And I felt really bad about that. But my point is, I thought about it, there actually isn't one charge. Okay, there's no one charge, not even in the same area. They just make it up on the spot.
No, so can I tell you the iconic story of the guy who...
Is it shorter than mine? I took about 5 minutes.
Essentially retired, a millionaire, because he had just appropriated a space, printed out some little parking chits, and then he started charging people parking.
And he has no authority to do that.
Of course not.
I love this.
This is Delhi.
Does he own the parking space?
No.
In Delhi, nobody owns a parking space. It's still with the British.
He just he had
The deed is with the English.
entrepreneurial spirit.
And corruption gene. You need both.
Exactly.
Delhi, no?
No, see, how do you decide what would be a parking charge? If you look at what you're paying at Churchgate, it's 20 rupees an hour. Official.
Yeah, but
Official.
that's a commercial area. So I'm saying I'll
I
allow
can
them
understand.
to... Yeah.
But parking at the airport, 110 rupees for half an hour.
Oh, ridiculous.
Now, that's not a commercial spot.
No.
I mean, you go there just maybe to drop someone or pick up someone.
And you got to give them half an hour. No bloody flight is... The science of flights isn't that great. Yeah.
Exactly. So what does it result in? You will have cars parked on the highway just outside the airport.
Correct.
Because if the flight is delayed, say maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, how much would you be paying? Like 200, 300 rupees?
Absolutely.
I mean, I would rather park 10 kilometers away because the cost of coming there is 70 rupees, which is 1 liter of petrol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if your wife is travel low budget, you're paying more money for the parking than she's paying for the flight.
Watched a movie in that much money.
Yeah, it's called drive-ins. That's different.
I mean, malls charge you less than that. For
do.
2 hours, they'll charge you 40 rupees or 50 rupees.
No, but
60
the
or
point
100.
here is...
Yeah, 60 on the
we
high, right?
have to have some leveling factor here, right? They can't just
So
keep-
what is it? Construction costs? They're just trying to...
No, my
recreate
point is,
the
who's the
overhead?
authority? Who decides where you park and how much you
Exactly.
park?
Who decides this?
And that's park with a
the
P,
builder,
not with an
no?
F. Yeah. So what? No, honestly. So who? There has to be one clear authority. Is it the BMC? I don't think it's the BMC.
No. I guess it's the
RTO. The BMC and RTO had a child.
For the
RTC.
city, it's the BMC which decides if you're parking on the street.
Right.
If it's in a mall, it's the
mall
mall
property.
authority.
And the
And
airport,
the
the
airport
airport
authority.
authority.
Here's another interesting thing.
CWG or whoever is running it.
CWG is gas.
No, who is it then?
What the hell are you talking about? No more drinks for her.
GAIA,
Stop
what
drinking on
are
my
they
show.
called?
CIG? CGI? That's graphics.
Delhi's different. Bombay's
CB? That's
different.
me. Go on. Anand, don't let me interrupt you.
Now, if you have recently been to the very popular South Bombay multiplex.
I like the way you say it with disdain. Almost a leftist attitude that you
I'm
have.
very Bombay Times.
The
You can
South
name it,
Bombay multiplex where they overcharge you 1 lakh for popcorn and some crappy film which I'll never see again.
Name it. They're not our sponsors.
Apparently, there are 4 levels of parking which belong to the government.
I can't find my way.
And they are lying absolutely vacant
Oh, is it?
because they have not yet been able to finalize a contractor for that.
How long has this been?
Not to mention the chief guest
I
to
don't know.
cut the ribbon.
Well,
before you
I
allow
was
people in.
there a week back, and I was told that these first four floors of parking are with the government, and because they have not been able to finalize a contractor, nobody can park their car
That's
over
so
there.
daft. At least until they finalize the contract.
Exactly.
But on the flip side,
people who can't.
Inox has 7 people at any point in the theatre, 2 of which don't have cars. So you're looking at 5 cars and about 6 layers of parking. We should be okay.
But you're looking at parking for the entire area.
Yeah.
over
I
there.
know.
All
yeah.
the offices,
No, I'm
right?
with you. Listen,
I mean,
it's not just for-
it was
Anand,
developed
I'm a
as a parking
self-driver.
area.
My producer's a self-driver. We
I'm a
suffer a lot.
self-driver,
So, and we've seen the city change. Forget South. Look at North Mumbai also. I mean, there's just no place to put the car. Yeah?
There isn't.
And if you do, they never have a sort of a uniform code. 5 rupees an hour, 10 rupees an hour. At least mentally be prepared.
Exactly.
And then they don't have
And-
change. They give you some kind of strange receipt,
Yeah.
And these boys that they hire these 12-year-old boys, which I always think is some sort of racket.
Of course
they
it
look
is.
like guys
It
who
is.
live in the ilaka who just come and say, "Bola, that's rupees."
So,
Come on.
in
Go
cities
to a
like-
school, learn about parking, and then come and work here. Don't just bloody turn up.
Yeah, here too, and in Delhi definitely, where every
Please don't
household...
compare us to Delhi. We're still okay.
I'm not comparing.
No, I
I'm
love
giving
Delhi.
you a general overview. Is that with multi-car families, you're running out of parking space. There's just not enough space. So you are going to have to move to the American model or the European model, where people have to share
And
parking
let me
in
tell
the
you, in Delhi
locality.
it's different because all you need is influence. If you have influence, you can park on someone. It's no problem. Sharma, lie down and you park the car. It's done. It's really different.
Space is still short.
Space is not short in Delhi. Space is not short in Delhi.
Delhi has
What
a lot
are
of
you
space
saying?
to expand.
No, but if you're in a colony and you have a
Don't
house,
compare-
there are
Sorry.
6 families living there. Each has 2 cars. Where the hell are you going to park? You can't
Okay,
take
if
it
you're
in
on
with
one of
you.
those lanes
Which
and
is
you're-
why we have stilt parking.
Yeah.
You have basement
Now you
parking.
do. Now you do.
But
This
there's
is
a
for the
point.
last 2 years.
I hate to say this, but there's a very good point here, which is maybe one day we'll have to go the Greek way. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. The truth is that they were the first ones to come up with odd and even parking, depending on how many cars you had. So
Right.
if you had odd numbers, then you park Monday, Wednesday, Friday on this side of the road. It was
Yes.
very clear.
Yes.
The system, of course, is now going nowhere. That's another story. But it's going to come. How are we going to manage it? Too many cars, too many
So
people.
I think pay and park is the future, but there has to be an authority to.
I think we
decide
should have a
what's going
membership card. I'm a citizen of Mumbai. I get a discount. I pay only one uniform rate everywhere. What do you think?
on. Absolutely, but everybody should be entitled to it. Nobody needs a
One
membership
common card across, all
Yeah.
all parking spaces. You just swipe the card, it
Correct.
goes from your account,
Correct.
and that's it. Done.
We've solved it. Yes.
Anand, let's go to Singapore. Your idea will work there.
I know, it's
It already
already
does.
working there.
It already does, yeah. Okay, let's move on to our last topic, which is again right here.
Families.
The portrayal of families in ads.
I love how we have all these white families in Indian ads. It's so nice. Everybody's blonde.
Yes.
Yeah, that race thing is never going to change. But I also want to get into this disappearing mother-in-law, which Anand has mentioned. What the hell is that? The case of
If you have noticed, the mother-in-law appears only in certain advertisements for certain products.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have an advertisement for a floor cleaner,
Right.
you will have a mother-in-law dictating to the daughter-in-law saying you've not cleaned it properly.
Lovely.
But there's
episode 23 of Saas Bahu first version.
But in another advertisement where for ready-to-eat products or ready mixes,
Yeah,
you have the lady of the house asking everyone,
which is the wife,
which is the wife, or let's call
the
her
younger wife. Let's call her the Bahu.
the bahu. Let's
Yeah,
call her
let's
the
call
bahu.
the bahu, huh.
So you have everyone over there demanding all sort of things,
Yeah.
but there's no mother-in-law.
No,
Why?
no. See, I have.
Why? Exactly.
point.
Why?
I
Chavi,
have to
you're a
disagree
lady.
with you. I have to disagree with you. And everybody, by the way, I'm going to plug this. I did a story on this. It's on theworld.org. I totally
On
disagree.
theworld.org.
Yeah,
I plugged
it's-
it twice. Go ahead.
Thank you. Because I did a case study of all of these, and the mother-in-law is very much present in all the product things.
No, and
She's
he's
not
just
here. I'm saying she's not
Have
here.
you seen like
Let's
the
fight.
Kellogg's and the Maggie ads and stuff? The bahu is going around, and then the father-in-law will say, "Aaj to kuch healthy खाने का मन कर रहा है," and the mother-in-law will say, "Bahu को बोलते हैं."
No, that's a different thing. He's
That's-
talking about another thing altogether.
I'm talking of more in the current time. So,
No, these are
or even
current ads.
there is one
The
more.
aerial ad,
No,
have you
because
seen the aerial
Maggie.
ad?
No.
There are
Chavi,
two mother-in-laws sitting
Maggie,
there.
Maggie, as you very well know, if you open the papers now, was trying to place itself as a health product, right? So that's a different slant altogether. And then the next generation, older generation wants to back you up. What he's talking about is the new generation is in charge of the cooking and what food is to come on the table.
But
There's
the
some sort of-
mother-in-law is passing on dictates. There's so many ads
Over
like
here,
this.
there's no mother-in-law. Now, if you look at an advertisement for your washing powder, so where the child goes and rolls somewhere, gets his
Yeah.
clothes
I love
dirty,
those ads. It never changes in
and the
30 years.
mother-in-law
Play
tells the
football,
daughter-in-law,
come
you know
back.
what, your work is all cut out now.
Huh.
So she appears there.
Yeah, she appears as a
but
villain almost.
disappears in the ready-to-eat foods, the ready mixes.
Very good point. The very good point. It's like,
disagree.
again, there's a racist issue that mother-in-law will play the sort of villain-like character in certain things.
Okay. Again,
And
dissent. Have you seen the aerial ad? I'm going to bring this up again.
Okay, listen, I'm getting confused now. I'm
Okay,
still
the
on
aerial ad is the
I'm
share
on-
the load ad.
I'm on the detergent where the dirty boy plays football
Yeah,
and comes
so
back and says, "Ma."
modern version.
Because I live in South Bombay and no mother cleans their own child's clothes.
Correct.
Exactly.
Of course I know.
And if
So
you
I
look,
don't
and
know
if
what
you
they're
look at
talking
if you
about.
look at the bathrooms, 220 square feet at least.
Right.
That's where she's going to scrub all the clothes
Wow.
and everything.
Right,
That's-
it's made
I
in
mean,
Canada. The ad is made in Canada with an Indian, with plenty of Indians there, and then
So
we are supposed to relate
as,
to it.
As somebody from Mumbai, the first thing the
220
person will
square
do
feet is the 3-bedroom hall that you live in, yaar.
Exactly.
How dare you?
will go like put a wall over here. Let's have like a master bedroom over here, a balcony over there with a toilet attached to it.
I can live in 220. Come on, it's not too bad from Mumbai perspective. Coming back to the mother-in-law, this is a shameful thing that's happened. Firstly, what I get from Anand is also they seem to be using the two generations almost with a negative effect on the older generation. And then in a nice way, the Bahu sort of solves the problem at the end and everybody's happy. Which is very, very sad because I live with my mother-in-law, which is really my mother, so my wife's mother-in-law, and she's a lovely lady. She does all the work.
That's sweet.
My wife's
She does
like
all the
Namo.
work.
We
That's
don't
why
see
she's
her.
sweet.
She keeps traveling.
This is so sexist. Terrible.
No. I've actually heard people say that in this South Indian film whose name I won't mention yesterday that I was watching. This guy tells his mother, no, but you must let me marry her because ultimately you're tiring and you need someone to help you. Let her do the cooking and cleaning the bartans. And the mother smiles and she smiles and he smiles and I'm like, wow, what a country. I mean, this is beautiful.
But in the older Hindi movies, like, you have somebody like telling the mother, Ma, why don't you get somebody to help you now?
Yes.
And the mother says, it's about time you
for
get
you to
married.
marry.
For her to get help.
For her to get help.
I love it.
Indentured.
I tell you, marriage is the whole different ballgame in India. Whatever people say, it's got very little to do
like
with
when you
bride
talk
and
about
bridegroom.
love wins and marriage equality.
Yeah, love wins for the mother-in-law. It's very
Yeah,
clear.
because in India, marriage is not about love.
Anand, tell the truth. Do you live with your parents or her parents?
I live with my parents.
Then what are you talking about? We're all the same. I live with my parents. Yeah.
Okay, I don't live with my parents.
Wait till you get married. Could be his parents.
Could be. Right now, I've just got 2 felines, and they're very great. They could
There's
come.
another word for felines, but I can't
Cats.
say it. Yeah.
The word is cats.
No, iTunes says no, you can't use these words. Subject to libel. All right, we're taking a break. We're almost done with the show, but we'll come back with lots of questions from the
A
audience.
couple of questions.
Just 2, right?
Yeah.
Well, I.
Cyrus says, ask me anything. If you want Cyrus to answer your questions on air, send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com. If you send us a link to a sound file on SoundCloud, we'll even play you asking the question in your own voice. And that's what Cyrus says.
Yup, it's Cyrus Says with Anand Damle, sometime lawyer, activist, environmentalist, but above all blogger, who's now opening my mind to the more important things in life, like toilet facilities in airlines and all over India, and more importantly, how the potato has dominated weddings. It has to stop somewhere. Someone has to stop it. Now, AMA time. Ask me anything, Chavi. What have we got?
We've got 3 questions. The first one is from Atul Varaskar at Technofunky.
Varaskar, huh.
At Technofunky on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he says, why hasn't modern medicine fixed the cold?
Hugely important. Baldness, cold, cancer. I mean, it doesn't end.
Oh.
There's so many things. Man has reached the moon, but they don't really have a cure.
Why can't docs find a cure?
Because I think, honestly, doctors aren't trying hard enough. They're very busy with porn and things like that. There's so many distractions. The toilet facilities are terrible. Potato in the diet.
Train people to use the toilet.
Where does one start? Anand, your view on this, very important. The cold. I actually work with a doctor friend, and his point is there is no cure for a cold. And it takes 7 to 9 days generally, and that's the way it is. So it's all a waste of time, and then people make you do this, breathe that, put some... I had a guy who told me once to put a rope inside one nostril, and then do a headstand and try and pull it out from the other, and your nose will be... And I actually tried it. I'm that stupid.
It's called neti in your mouth.
It's actually a thing?
Neti is when I think you pour water from
No,
one
you can
nostril
do-
and...
I know
You can
neti.
do YouTube.
rope.
Is it neti?
Not a rope.
One
It's
sec,
more
guys.
like a-
Sorry to interrupt. Isn't neti Sushma Swaraj? I mean, no, that's... No, that's... No.
Okay. Ready for
Sorry.
the second question?
But what about answering the
Oh,
cold?
sorry.
So why can't
haven't doctors
technology,
found the cold?
medicine, biology, pharmaceuticals?
I have no idea. I get a cold. I go to the doctor. He gives me some weird colored
He laughs first.
tablets.
Aaja beta,
Yeah,
baith jao.
suckers, everybody. The cold is a
There's-
virus. You
there's
can't
a
take
pink
medicine
colored
for
one,
that.
there's a yellow colored one, there's a white colored
The
one.
pink colored one is
3
for
times a
virility.
day.
Please, your cold will stay. The yellow colored one, I'm not
What
sure.
kind of doctor is this? Like
And
Morpheus from the Matrix.
It's like a dispensary, the old school doctor where you have
Oh
a
my
compounder
God,
sitting
yeah.
outside.
I don't know what he's
smash,
giving
smash,
you.
smash, pill.
Correct.
Yeah.
Half a pill or
Yeah.
something like
Dr.
that.
Hulk smash pill.
2 days.
Take.
Then after 2 days, you don't go back to the doctor, but you go to the compounder and say, repeat the.
But here's the point. In 5 or 7 days, it gets cured anyway. So
Exactly.
you think the doctors worked a miracle. It's a
Totally.
bit like childbirth.
Remember my
The
aunt's
child is going to
remedy
come out.
about drinking the brandy every morning?
I love your aunt.
Yeah.
In a nice way. And I love the remedy.
Yeah. So your cold is gone in 5 days,
But that
regardless
sort
of
of
what you
shocks
do.
the throat. So
Rubbish.
It shocks your...
But-
no, it's an initial reaction. It doesn't cure it.
You're drunk.
But that's fine. So you feel better, cold or not.
Somebody told me to eat ice cream if you're having, a bad
Yeah.
sinus attack.
Yeah.
And I tried it once. It worked.
And later on, you found out he owns Vadilal. So you were really upset. But see, these things are there out there, and we can't even fight them anymore.
This is true.
But-
Second question.
No, but this is, Atul, in
Oh
case
my
you do
goodness.
have a cold, don't write into us because we don't have the answer to this.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole of modern science has not been able to help you with the cold. Now, hot, that's a different thing altogether. Air condition. Simple answer. Next question, AMA.
Cartoon. Second question from Pranav,
I like the name
who
Pranav.
says, what are your thoughts on Nitish Kumar making Bihar a dry state if he wins?
Very interesting. I think he's going to lose immediately with that diktat because that's a waste of everybody's time. It's never worked anywhere in the world. Not that I'm
Gujarat?
endorsing alcohol. Give me one more, please. But I would like to just say that I don't understand why they do this. This populist thinking and talking. And Nitish Kumar had such a good run up to 3 years ago, We all thought of him as a very progressive chief minister. He brought Bihar up to some point. Everyone talked of him and the Haryana chief minister of that time as the two most progressive North Indian leaders. And now in the last year and a half, the BJP and other people have just gotten to his head. I think it's a ridiculous statement. Honestly, why? What? How? What purpose?
You don't know what kind of social problems the state
No,
is
there are
facing.
social problems, but
If there is somebody
But
men drinking and beating up their wives.
but that is
That's
going to
the
continue.
answer?
No, that's not the answer. What I'm saying is you need to address the social
No, so
problems
it's a
as well.
populist point where he's trying to say that because of alcohol, all this bad behavior is carrying on. But I'm saying, is it ever going to work? Because the correlation cannot be proved beyond a point. There are bad people and there are not so bad people.
And the drinkers are going to
There are
drink
no good
anyway.
people. I've studied the market. Let me tell you. And
You
I'm not
need
talking
to
about
balance
beer.
everything.
Sorry, Chavi, I was going on talking to myself again to the other side of the show.
Nobody's surprised.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Anand has started drinking to get over the show. Anand, be careful. Jharkhand, it's okay. Huh? They've bifurcated, so that's fine. Okay. But last word on the subject for everyone. I think it's a stupid idea. It's not worked in the West. It's not worked in the East. Prostitution and alcohol cannot be curtailed. Let's face it.
Wait, you've already said porn? And
Porn is not prostitution. You're mistaking it.
No, what can't be
There's free
curtailed?
porn, so where's the question of money?
Porn, prostitution. Now, we've got 3 things on the show that
You are
said.
talking my favorite hobbies. I will accept that. But having said that, I think, like Anand said, yes, there's definitely social issues and evils of alcohol. But at the end of the day, I don't think it makes sense to
Evils
just
of
ban it
alcohol?
completely. Regulate, of course, but ban completely.
Yeah,
Control
regulation
them
has
in.
to be there.
Lock
It
them in
has to be
toilets. First,
controlled.
make the toilets, lock them in toilets, make them smell their urine for hours. They won't drink.
Not just toilets, but toilets without a running water supply.
Okay.
Then
That's-
let's see you
listen,
deal
that's
with
the
it.
reality
We've
for
never,
most
That's the
people.
reality.
we've never
Exactly.
introduced running water with our toilets. Why are you trying to spoil a good thing? Yeah. British left because of our toilets. They just couldn't take it anymore.
Possibly. In small villages where they actually get grants to make brand new toilets, people revere those toilets so much they lock all their valuables in them, like bicycles.
Where?
In
Inside the
rural
pot?
India. No, there's no pot, right? It's a
How
squat
small
toilet.
are you? Huh.
You missed the point completely.
They put a bicycle in the toilet.
The toilet
And
is
then they sit
such
on the
a
bicycle and do
grand
their thing.
structure. They don't know what to do with
So
it.
they park it in the
so
toilet.
it's like a safe. Yeah, it's a safe house. It's a strong room.
So a man goes into a urinal, he takes
No, he
it on his
doesn't.
bicycle.
He still goes to the field. The
Oh.
toilet is used as a safe.
Oh, so it's a stable for a cycle in a sense.
And other valuables.
Oh, well, the valuables are
Because
on
we
the
really
field
don't
with
have
him.
a toilet culture, or we've got a really bad toilet culture. Something in this country is really warped.
As
No, I've got a simple... See, we have too many people. Coming back to toilets, my point is very simple. The male urinal, the long stretch, let people share. What's the big deal? Put everybody inside a cubicle. Why do you have to be one at a time? Put 3 or 4. We're used to touching each other anyway. I'm saying 3 or 4 guys stand
I'm out
together,
of
pee
here.
together.
Is there one last question left? Damn it, I can't even leave.
Let us pee together as friends. Let there be pee everywhere, and then everybody
Jesus,
enjoy
okay, men,
themselves.
this does not apply to women.
It's another version of world pee, in a sense. That's French for...
He's killing me.
I'm killing me. Okay, moving on. Question number 3.
Last question comes from Ashra. She wants to know Marine Drive. This is such a local question. Sorry, everybody.
No, but Marine Drive is pan-India. Everybody knows
really?
Marine Drive.
Okay.
They
Marine
think
Drive
it's
is
nice.
pan-India.
Somebody in Chennai is going, Marine Drive.
Queen's necklace.
Yeah.
Yellow lights or white lights?
Okay. Anand,
Maybe we should give them some background. Anand, why don't you give them some background?
The background is something like this, because recently they replaced the lights with...
Which were yellow?
Which were yellow with...
for many thousands of
LED
years.
lamps. With LEDs. Now, basically, it was more to, conserve power, less electricity, so less
And
cost.
make a statement that you conserve power, bhai.
Right.
That's the
right.
main thing.
Now, over here, let's not blame technology also, because you need... ultimately, who's footing the bill for all the street lamps?
Me.
It's you and... Exactly.
Personally, what you and me, just
Exactly.
me.
So, given that the Marine Drive is also known as the Queen's Necklace,
Yeah.
so people thought that, let's preserve the necklace as is, though it does not belong to the Queen anymore.
And also because if Bombay became Mumbai, we should make it Rani Chahar or something. No, we should change it a little bit, I
you're
think.
right,
We should fit in, bhai, fit in.
So
the aesthetic point.
that's where the arguments are
No,
coming
but
up
what
now.
they did was they replaced it with white LEDs, which was
With white,
idiotic because
right.
there is completely
Because
no problem
there is-
getting yellow
exactly.
LED.
Anyway, I think then
Cost to company is what?
It's absolutely the same.
The
White
same.
versus yellow.
So it's a question of racism again. White versus yellow and white
yeah,
wins.
aspirational like the
There
families in
you
our
go.
advertisements.
What about black light? When will we ever see a world where there's
Cyrus,
black
come
light?
back to the point.
My
The
point
point
is-
is now the Supreme Court has said, yes, switch it back to yellow, but they're decrying cost, basically, right?
Right.
Like we've already done it once, idiotically
But
wrongly.
it also got politicized. One party wanted it this way, the other party wanted it that way. Some
Solution is simple. Use the efficient light, which give you the brightness. Do not reduce the brightness of the lights. And simply, if you're going to conserve watts, then look at something which will give you the same lumens.
why don't we just not drive at night? We can save so much money. Just stop it. 6 o'clock, stop driving.
Ashra,
What about
sorry.
walking?
I apologize for Cyrus's answer.
Walking is supposed to be on the pavement. If the morons stop
We don't
walking in
have
front
a
of our
pavement.
cars and getting
We've
killed, it
got
would
vada pav
help.
sellers on the
Marine Drive
pavement.
has a pavement.
Taropurwala
One road in
Aquarium.
Bombay has a pavement.
Tarapura Aquarium, which is a fish market, where you can get the best crabs. Let me tell you about that. That is the number one accident site, by the way, because people keep hopping around from there. They see, wow, crab, badhiya. They come running out and they die. You've got to be careful. People, please walk on the pavements, leave us alone. alone. As self-driving motorists, we have to, and then they blame us. We have to go to court and we have to fight the battle. What did we do? All we did is drive and the light was too much.
You sound like you have some personal angst.
I have lots of angst. Marine Drive hurts me a lot. But coming back to Marine Drive and Mumbai's problems, I think we should ask two people to solve it. Mahesh Bhatt, Arnab Goswami. I'm sure they'll come up with something. All right, let them make the decision, not you and me. We're not equipped. We don't have it. Anything else? No. Awkward pause from all three of us. All right, hands up. Aerobics time. I think that's all we have time for on Cyrus Says. We'll have to thank Anand. Thank you so much for what I think was great fun, because it's exactly the kind of topics I would like to talk about. It's easy to hit the big ones, but you're seeing the in-between ones, the real problems of India, such as toilets and overuse of potatoes, Punjabification, and above all, white light versus yellow light. When will we see the light? All right, thank you. Bye-bye. We'll leave you with elephant droppings. Now, this time, make it a big one.
Sure, done. Again.
Yeah. You don't really have an elephant, brother. You have to do it. Oh, man, he's never seen an elephant in his life.
I've only seen the Indian elephants walking on the streets.
Yeah.
And the last time I saw an elephant was in a zoo in Singapore.
My God.
Who did not fart, by the way.
Indian elephants, you talk about my relatives because they are large and mean.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
All views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily the views and opinions of the Indus Vox Media Network or any of our show advertisers or sponsors. No animals were harmed in the making of this podcast, obviously.
All right, time to look at the podcast, Podcast. It's, we have to push the pun from time to time because it's an audio medium. We can't write it for you. Hosted by the dailypow.com's Purva Mehra, Pranoti Datta and Amit Gurbaksani. The podcast is your fortnightly lowdown on Mumbai's food and culture scenes. Plus, if you pay them money, they'll talk about your family and other animals.